So, it's kind of interesting. So, things change. Today is August 28th, I believe. Things change. So I just wanted to get that on the camera that, somebody might watch this video 4 or 5 months from now. Maybe some of the information we're going to give will be a little bit different.
Yeah.
But it seems like the market's doing pretty well right now in
yeah.
Norfolk and Bristol County. It seems like it's really heating up. I did see a map yesterday of property values in Massachusetts, and actually in those counties, property values are up so far this year about 3%.
Yes.
Now we haven't had price appreciation in a long, long time.
Yeah.
So I've got to think that the market's really starting to recover down there.
Which, it's good news for sellers, but interest rates, I know people are, it's like a tagline, interest rates, historical lows. It's true. It's absolutely true. So there's opportunities on both ends. And I've seen people, people say, oh, if I'd sold my house 5 years ago, 6 years ago, I would have made X amount more. Well, you would be buying more too. It's all relevant, and there truly are opportunities. And that's what I'll do, is I'll sit down with someone unique to their situation, look at the markets they're in, what they're looking to do, and say, here's the realities of your market, here's some opportunities, and here's some things we need to be aware of. So it's a great time for
think about this. Brian knows this because we do interview many people, and a couple of weeks ago we had a mortgage loan officer here that we were interviewing, and he was saying right now, if you're borrowing money right now, and you should be, if you're a first-time home buyer or just a buyer in general, it's almost like free money.
Yeah.
Interest rates are in the 3s right now. When you calculate in the interest, the tax deduction, it's costing you next to nothing. It's almost like 0% interest to borrow right now. It's really a phenomenal time to buy. And what I find is some buyers are thinking, well, I think rates are going to go even lower. Well, something you really can't time, the bottom of the market or the bottom of interest rates. Matter of fact, this week alone, interest rates did bump up about 1/8%. So, right now is a phenomenal time to buy. And as you know, we exchange information quite a bit. And housing affordability right now is the best it's been since 1963. Since 1963. So when you calculate in someone's purchasing power, interest rates, the value of property. So think about this, Julie. If you could say to somebody, well, if you could go back to 1963 and buy a home, would you? Of course they would.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's the same conditions right now where as a buyer, and listen, as a seller, because the market is rebounding. It's a very unique time where it's almost like a seller's market and a buyer's market simultaneously. I don't think I've ever seen that. Have you seen that where it benefits both the buyer and the seller at the same time?
I always joke, my first home, we closed in January of 2006. And I always joke that by the time I got to the end of signing my name, once the ink dried, the market fell. So that's been, the last 7 years, I've been in the toughest of times. And now it's just so exciting to see it coming up, and we're seeing multiple offers. We're seeing listings go under agreement in less than a week. We're seeing competition. We're seeing a lack of supply for the demand that there is, and all of it is positive signs for both the real estate market and the economy.
Well, this is interesting. So as a seller, most sellers who are properly pricing their homes are getting multiple offers very quickly right now. We talk about that all the time. And on the buy side, you've got buyers who are getting pre-qualified at interest rates in the 3s. It's really the best of both worlds.
Absolutely.
So if you're considering at all buying or selling, now is a phenomenal time. I've been in this business since 1985. And I've never seen a market this unique where it really benefits both the seller and the buyer. Like there's no real advantage of one versus the other.
It's
really true equilibrium right now where both parties win. So, I think it's a great time now to go out and do that.
Well, I agree. And, there's so much you can say about the opportunities on both ends. And it doesn't always come together. As you're saying, it's historically at a seller's market or a buyer's market. And I have, family and friends who joke with me. They say, oh, are you in real estate? Because I talk about it nonstop. You have to turn it off because there's so much to be said about it. And I could just go on and on to say it's so exciting. There's just so much, and it's just such a fun process.